DND Dungeons. What is DND for beginners? In Dungeons and Dragons, DND, dungeons refer to any enclosed, dangerous, and often labyrinthine environment filled with traps, monsters, puzzles, and treasure. They are a core aspect of the game, where adventurers test their skills, combat prowess, and wits. Though the term dungeon might conjure images of dark underground caverns, in D&D, it can be far more diverse. Here's an overview of dungeons in D&D. 1. Classic dungeon. The most iconic type of dungeon is a subterranean maze, often an ancient ruin or crypt, filled with creatures that lurk in the darkness. Classic dungeons usually have multiple levels, with increasing danger as adventurers descend deeper. Crypts and catacombs, often found under ancient cities, these dungeons are filled with undead creatures, traps, and cursed treasure. Caves and natural caverns, home to creatures like goblins, trolls, or dragons. Caves often have environmental challenges like tight passages, underground rivers, or hidden pits. Abandoned castles or fortresses, once inhabited by powerful rulers, these dungeons are now filled with remnants of the past monsters or spirits and treasure left behind. 2. Themed dungeons. Not all dungeons are underground or dark. Many D&D adventures feature unique locations with their own themes and challenges. Elemental dungeons, a dungeon tied to one of the elemental planes, such as fire, earth, air, or water. Each brings its own environmental hazards, like intense heat, floods, or shifting winds. Forest labyrinths, overgrown ruins lost in a dense forest or jungle. These can be filled with traps, magical creatures like dryads, or strange puzzles that involve nature. Astral or planar dungeons, set in other planes of existence, like the astral plane, where time and space behave differently. These dungeons can be disorienting and magical, with creatures from other dimensions. Magical towers, these are often created by wizards or other powerful spellcasters and may have rooms that shift, puzzles based on logic or spells, or creatures that test adventurers' knowledge and intellect. 3. Dangers in dungeons. Dungeons are filled with hazards and dangers, testing the adventurer's abilities in combat, survival, and problem solving. Monsters, from orcs and goblins to mind flayers and dragons, dungeons are often homes to dangerous creatures. Some monsters are territorial, while others might be actively guarding something valuable. Traps. Dungeon builders may have left behind deadly traps to protect treasure or ward off intruders. These can range from simple pitfalls to complex magical glyphs or poison gas. Puzzles. Many dungeons include logic puzzles, riddle-locked doors, or magic mechanisms that require careful thinking to bypass. Environmental hazards. These can include dangerous terrain, lava, deep water, or quicksand, crumbling structures, or magical anomalies that distort reality. 4. Dungeon goals. The purpose of a dungeon varies depending on the adventure. Treasure. Adventurers often explore dungeons to recover lost or hidden treasure, which could be in the form of gold, magical items, or ancient artifacts. Quests. Many dungeons are tied to a story or mission, such as retrieving an artifact, rescuing a captive, or defeating a villainous monster. Lore. Some dungeons are filled with ancient knowledge or secrets waiting to be uncovered. Players may find old books, runes, or statues that reveal key lore about the world. Boss encounters. Dungeons often culminate in a final, difficult battle against a powerful foe, such as a dragon, lich, or demon lord. 5. Dungeon Masters, DMS, and Dungeons. The Dungeon Master, DM, creates and controls the dungeon, setting the tone and pace for the adventure. They determine the layout of the dungeon, its traps, puzzles, and encounters. The story behind the dungeon, why it exists and what adventurers may find. The monsters or villains inhabiting the dungeon, how they react to the players, and what strategies they use. 6. Famous dungeons in D&D. Some dungeons are legendary within the D&D community and have appeared in published modules or campaigns. The Tomb of Horrors, one of the most infamous dungeons, known for its deadly traps and the evil Lich Assareric. The Dungeon of the Mad Mage, Undermountain, a massive, multi-layered dungeon beneath the city of Waterdeep, ruled by the Mad Mage Hollister. Castle Ravenloft, the Gothic castle of the vampire lord Strahd von Zaravik in the Curse of Strahd campaign, full of secrets and undead. Dungeons in D&D represent adventure, danger, and discovery. Each one is a unique challenge, offering players a chance to prove their worth against traps, monsters, and mysteries.